Greetings. It's Vaygrim. I am still drinking my coffee for the morning. This is a test video. I have no clue what is going to happen with this because I'm not using OBS. I'm using OBS Multiplatform. It's completely different in almost every way. A couple of the key basics are the same in that you have scenes and you have sources in the scene, but I can't export stuff from OBS to OBS Multiplatform. Like, I cannot get my scenes and import them into OBS Multiplatform, which is dumb. I cannot get my specialized sources or, like, my setups that has groups of scenes in it, my profiles. Can't import those into OBS Multiplatform. There is no menu option for it in OBSM. So basically, I would have to do everything over from scratch. I have one scene right now entitled Vlog. That's it. In OBSM. And I will say something. The green screen effects, you can probably see a little bit of outline if I do this. You probably see a little bit of green, but the default still green screen effect, I put chroma key on and that's it. I didn't have to adjust any settings. That's actually pretty good. I have to admit, the chroma key thing is very good, but it's not a setting anymore on your video camera or on the scene itself. Previously, when you had a webcam input, you could actually set green screen on it. Now, you don't have webcam inputs anymore. Doesn't exist. There is no such thing as a webcam anymore. Now there is a video capture device. I get it. It took me about 5 minutes to figure that out, though, this early in the morning. But basically, there are no webcams anymore. They can't call them webcams. They have video input devices, or video capture devices. And basically what that means is that it's a little bit more confusing. They got webcams and video capture devices and merged them into one thing. And I see the reasoning for that. It streamlines stuff to a certain extent, but it still made it a little confusing. And it's also the fact that a video input device doesn't actually have chroma key settings anymore. Nowhere. It has filters. And the filters, filters and effects, one of which is the chroma key effect. And it is really different from OBS. OBSM is really different from OBS. I like it. I do think it's more clean. It feels more refined. The in-program menu, generally, looks a lot better. I think the settings and configurations that are there are a lot more flexible. But they also are missing a lot of features. Like, I can't figure out where plugins are. I don't think plugins exist. There's a folder for plugins, but as far as I can tell, when I put stuff in there, nothing happens. I don't even think normal OBS plugins work in OBSM, or at least I haven't seen them working yet. You can't edit a scene and then lock it down. Like right now, I still have... Yeah. I still have all these lines and stuff, and I can't just lock the scene down. Not that I've been able to figure out. So you can't go into edit mode, edit some things, and then go out of edit mode if you're always in edit mode. So if you accidentally click drag something, you'll end up moving things, and I don't like that. I do think that's actually inferior. I will say the audio mixer looks a lot better. The volumes panel is a lot more robust. But everything is squished down to this little itty bitty bar across the bottom, and you cannot resize anything to give you a bigger view. So you have all these little itty bitty menus that you're scrolling down through, and even resizing windows won't let you get a bigger view on that. You end up with this little itty bitty view in a scroll bar, and then tons of dead space. OBM still has a long ways to go. And right now, OBS is broken for me. It starts recording for about the first minute or two of it starts recording audio for the first 2 minutes of doing a video recording, and then it cuts out. Audio just dies. I don't know why. I cannot figure that out. I ran across somebody else that had the exact same problem a couple of nights ago. And started for them about the same time it started for me. An update rolled out on one of the plugins, and I can't remember which. I wasn't paying attention at the time because it wasn't until several days later that I started noticing the problem. And I've never had a problem with updates, OBS plugin updates before. Never. This is the first time I've ever had one, but it has ruined the functionality for me. I've tried reinstalling it, but when you reinstall it, it goes and gets the latest of all those plugins, and one of those plugins is bad. For me. For me and my sound system, my capture system, it is bad. And apparently it's happening for some other people out there as well. I'm testing OBS-M. I'm specifically rambling on to see if I can get past the 2 or 3 minute mark to see if the audio is going to fail out again. I see my microphone bar going up and down on there on the mixer panel. I think it's funny that it puts my webcam microphone on the mixer panel, but I have that intentionally turned all the way down to make sure that I know if it's going to be my microphone that cuts out or what. Just for the record, Bandicam both, and I've done tests with DxTory again recently, Bandicam and DxTory both capture this microphone on my audio system just fine. I've done 30-minute video recordings. No problem. The only thing giving me grief right now is OBS. So I'm testing OBS-M, and the only reason I'm testing OBS-M now is because OBS-M just got a stable release for Windows. I think it was yesterday or the day before. I can't remember. It was either Thursday or Wednesday. I think it was Wednesday. It just got a stable release on Wednesday. Previously, there was a build, but it wasn't considered stable, so I wasn't going to touch it. Now they actually have a stable Windows build, but there are so many features that are missing in OBS-M as compared to its original that I think is kind of shocking. But they're still adding things. It's still early on. But apparently there are people that are using this more limited version all the time. There are things I miss, like OBS actually interfaced with the little screen on my G15 Logitech keyboard, and it would show stream stats and recording stats and uptime and stuff like that. I don't get that anymore in OBS-M. Maybe that's a plugin or something that they will put back in later, but we'll see. I had some scoreboard plugins and stuff like that. Oh gosh. A lot of the plugins that let you put in a URL and capture some part of a web page so you didn't have to have it up on screen on another monitor and capturing that part of the screen. I can't really figure out how to do that kind of stuff, like pop-ups for Twitch and things like that. So OBM is much more confusing than OBS. OBS-M is more confusing than OBM. Yeah, OBS-M is much more confusing than OBS. It's original because they decided to redo all the schemes for everything. There's stuff that's been lumped together. There's other stuff that's been split apart. There is no setting now. You cannot have a profile for it, for OBS-M, that is record to file. Doesn't work. You have to have a streaming profile. And then you just go into record to file mode. And I realize that's a minor difference, because technically when you have a streaming profile in the old OBS, when you had a streaming profile, you could also record to file in that profile. But there was a record to file profile, and it had naming schemes for the files, so you could do time, date stamps, and stuff like this, and a lot of flexibility. Other problems I'm running across right now is that every time I start up OBS-M on Windows, this is Windows 7, every time I start up OBS-M, about half my video capture settings reset to default, and I can't get them to stick. I got them to stick once by accident, but then they won't anymore after that. So that's extremely aggravating. So every time I start it up for a vlog, I'm going to have to go back through and recheck all of the settings. I can't figure out where to export profiles. So yeah, there's a lot of stuff still lacking from OBS-M, but I'm going to be watching it. I'm going to hope that they will improve upon it quicker, because it's now been like 2 months since the last update to OBS. 2 or 3. It's been like May 25th. And, no, it's March 25th. May 25th was the last major update to OBS-M until a couple of days ago. Now it's July 9th is what it says. OBS has still not been touched since March 25th. And I don't even know, because that doesn't track the plugins being updated. So I don't even know when the plugins get updated. And that's not core functionality. That's just things that have added on to the functionality. So it's very confusing. I don't like the fact that there's only, in my mind at least, I don't know of any other options between OBS and XSplit. XSplit's expensive. It's very expensive, and I cannot actually afford that anymore, much less the fact that there was stuff that it could not do compared to normal OBS when I was actually paying for it. There were things OBS can do that XSplit can't, and XSplit costs. That seems dumb. That's why I ended up canceling my XSplit subscription, which took me 3 months and a considerable amount of time. I finally had to put a stop payment on my credit card to get them to call me so I could tell them to cancel the transactions because their website wouldn't let me. So yeah, not a fan of XSplit. That leaves OBS and OBS Multiplatform, but I don't know of anything else out there that is good for recording vlogs like this. I've considered trying to do it in my editing software, because my editing software will see my webcam and I could do stuff like that, but it does not have a lot of live feedback. At least I don't think. Maybe I just need to play with it. Yeah. I'm still figuring things out. But, oh hush. I'm still figuring things out, but needless to say, I'm hoping I can at least start using this to record vlogs again for the meantime. I don't have to do anything fancy. I don't have to do any pop-up, you know, Twitch subscription alerts or whatever. I just need something I can record vlogs, and I can change the layout of the screen easily, so I can actually do insets and stuff like this. As long as I can do that, OBS Multiplatform will serve me fine. It does concern me, though. I really do hope that they accelerate the pace at which OBS Multiplatform is worked on, because right now the lack of plugins and stuff like that really does make it a limited option in comparison to the original OBS. At least to me. Yeah. So, I am sorry that I have not had any vlogs earlier this week or late last week, but I didn't want to put out vlogs. I didn't want to record 15 or 20 minutes of talking and discovered that the audio cut out after minute 2. And I did not want to have to do something strange like a full screen project and capture or something like that. I'm still exploring options, but basically as it stands right now, I'm trying to keep it simple and just use OBSM, but we'll see. Thank you very much for tuning in. I will try to put out another vlog either later today or tomorrow that actually goes into update on what's been going on since my last vlog last week, but this is a test. We'll see how it goes. Bye.